I'm not going to pretend to be a hero who can save everyone. Leaving the corporate job and getting here was, again, one of the best decisions that I have done. You will fall a million times and you will get up a million times. Scars on my legs and thighs, which no one can see. Few years ago, I would have a panic attack at least 3 times a day minimum. There was nothing or no place for emotional safety. I was not even aware coaching is like a valid profession. There is a lot of misinterpretation about it. They are wannabe therapists. I was disappointing people left and right.
You have left a powerful corporate role to move into a trauma informed coaching.
Neha is this, Neha is anxious, Neha is angry, Neha is hateful.
You have lived with multiple diagnoses.
While I was in the role as a VP, as I was like with 80 plus women,
How to shape up your pain into the power.
you have never been allowed to do things the way that you want. Those opportunities are not given to women as much. I have been the happiest in this 1.5 years. You're always been someone else's property. Our parents did the best they could with what they knew. It's really boring. It's really annoying. It's really frustrating. I don't let you be re traumatized with my work.
What helped you stop negotiating your existence?
Is you being a healer asking me this meant a lot to me. People assume trauma is supposed to be some kind of a big thing that happens. Situations which was supposed to help me has made me worse.
Strength doesn't always roar.
Why therapy sessions don't have any support in between. I extend your hand and say, hey, look at me, I need help. Saying only crying baby gets milk. If you look for help, you will find it. To be human is to live in a community.
Without trusting yourself, you cannot move ahead. Welcome back to Trust Your Journey 1.0. Some journeys don't look dramatic from the outside, but inside they are battles for survival, identity, and self worth. Today's episode of Trust Your Journey 1.0 is one of the most honest conversations we'll be having on this series. Our guest, Neha, is a trauma informed coach based in Bangalore. She spent 5 years in the startup ecosystem, eventually becoming VP of Experience, leading 80 plus women. But behind the titles, she was fighting something most people never saw: clinical depression, anxiety, PTSD, and the lifelong feeling of having to earn the right to exist. Today, Neha doesn't promise quick fixes or toxic positivity. She promises safety, dignity, and recovery. This conversation is for anyone who looks strong but feels exhausted inside. Neha ji, welcome to the show. I'm honored to have you.
Thank you so much for the lovely and warming welcome, Avinash. I really appreciate it. I appreciate being here. I am someone who thinks even if this reaches one person, if mental health conversation reaches one person, it's a win. So thank you for giving me the platform.
Thank you so much, Neha ji, for coming onto this podcast. This leads to me the first question of mine, which is, Neha ji, you were leading teams, building systems, succeeding on paper. Yet you describe a deep internal deficiency of not being enough. When did you first realize that success wasn't solving the pain inside?
I think like before the 5 years of startup, before that I had worked in other places, so it's overall 10 years of work experience. But irrespective, uh, you know there is always this need to, what more can I do, like kind of want to keep exploring more. And I think for the 20s of my life, success was defined by what people told me it is. Like my father wanted me to go into corporate, and like there was a lot of uh, you know uh, I was disappointing people left and right. But then when startup opportunities came and I was able to pick up more skills, I kind of broke certain ceilings. I don't usually, use that as much, but I was able to get out of just being a nutritionist to something more. And I think it was really powerful in the beginning. Like I remember once I was even called power hungry because I was not that happy when like the role was a VP. I was like, I'm doing more or whatever. Like, I was being said, you're power hungry, Neha. So like, I think in the beginning, success was about the power. Okay, I'm getting to make some changes, and I don't know, it was a little bit more selfish, I would say. But I think I got to this place with everything that I had. There was no doubt about it. So, one thing that happens with mental health issues or illness is that there is a heavy sense of lack of control in your life. And being able to get to the position that I was in gave me a lot of control, to be very honest. Like, I was able to handle my finances better. From someone who has to starve to go to therapy, I was able to kind of not think twice to go to a 5,000 rupees per person wala trauma therapy. So like, it gave me the power to get the help that I needed. Yeah, I think the lack of or the deficiency, as you mentioned, always existed, but the work, I will never regret it. I'm very proud of it because it gave me the help and resources that I need to kind of take care of myself, my health, and also kind of give more attention to myself, which I think is a huge deal. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
I'm sure many of our listeners belong to the same category of mid-age working professionals, and they would resonate with this pain because everybody feels the same thing. They want to do something, but still they're not be able to do that because of the societal expectations and all. Second question, Nehaji. You have shared that mental health wasn't acknowledged while growing up. How does growing up without emotional language shapes the way we treat ourselves as adults?
That's a loaded question. I think it applies to a lot of us in our generation when I say ki we grew up with a lack of mental health vocabulary because our parents did the best they could with what they knew. No complaints there, but that definitely lacked a certain you know physical protection, physical safety, financial protection, financial safety was understood for them. Ki I will give that to my child as much as I can, but there was nothing or no place for emotional safety simply because it did not exist in their vocabulary itself. So I think the lack of it was something I was able to recognize from very young age because I'm also a single child. So I grew up with not many people that I can kind of count on and say things to, and we kind of moved around a little bit. And I'm also not that great at making friends, so like it was a bit of a lonely existence. And I like it became very clear that there is something that I need which I'm not able to kind of satisfy. But what happens is, as children, we tend to be egocentric, meaning that anything that happens around us, it is our mistake. Mom is pissed, it's my mistake. Dad is sad, it's my mistake, right? Irrespective, it can be 100 different reasons, but that's where our brain goes. So I think I internalized a lot of those dissatisfaction and disappointment and everything that I was not getting that I wanted still. So like if I'm not being loved in the way that I want to be loved, okay, maybe something is wrong with me, right? So that is the kind of tone it happens. And also in an Asian, South Asian population, I think using um, a stick and a carrot options. A stick is usually what they lean towards. So those things were also so normalized, you don't realize that that's going to affect you little later in life. It's just how every one of us, me, my friends, and all grew up, right? So I think those things also kind of shaped a lot of inner critic within me. Like I remember this time I was talking to my therapist and she was asking me, so who do you think that voice is when you're saying you're not good enough or something like that? And I was like, I'm not sure. Like, it is my voice. And like we went into this rabbit hole, and then I was like, maybe like it comes from I feel like I'm in disappointment to my parents. They wanted someone who's like academically amazing, does this and that, but I was not able to do it. So like we tend to internalize the voices that we hear a lot, which becomes our self judgment. So I think that was also a huge part. I think it still is. I remember very recently talking to her about, will this never change? Will I always be judging myself like this? Right? Like, and it is so ingrained into the system that it just happens. There is no two thoughts to it. I'm just the biggest critic and judgmental person about myself. So yeah, I think that's kind of the life that we most of us have led. Now it has made me a lot more interested in understanding parent children dynamic. Now I believe that it takes a whole village to raise a child, and a lot of support, which definitely a lot of people don't get. So I think it has shaped me into someone who is a lot more aware of her language and tone. I'm very careful of not using harsh sentences to people because I know that it can stay with them. So I think, living with not having an emotional vocabulary has actually made me better at my emotional vocabulary in my adult life. Yeah, so that's a little bit about that. And I will not even pretend to say that I'm over it, I'm fully cured or whatever. It's everyday struggle. I still find out like a lot of places where I'm like the child Neha kind of comes up. Like yesterday, I was having a talk with my mom, and she was asking, "Your cheeks looks really bubbly. Did you gain weight?" She meant it really cutely, like it's like looking bubbly. But I immediately got offensive and like sorry defensive, and I was like, "No, I did not gain weight." Like then I just wanted to keep the call, and like later I was thinking, she meant it in a like nice way, but my brain immediately goes, "Oh, she's calling me fat." I think these things kind of takes a longer time. It becomes our judgment. How you are treated in your childhood becomes how you treat yourself later in life. And there is also this amazing quote that comes to my mind, which is if you cannot talk something to your mother, you cannot talk that to yourself. And in my case, I have found that really, really, really true. Like it has taken a lot of effort to kind of find kind words for myself through this time. So yeah.
I'm sure, Neha ji, you must have went through multiple ups and downs in your life, and this is the reason this has made you the person you are today, and who is speaking in front of us, and we are recording this podcast. So it's a beautiful journey. Next question, Neha ji, you have lived with multiple diagnoses. We'll be going deep into your journey as well in the later part of this section of the podcast. But this one question is specifically for people who are going through depression. So, if you have lived with multiple diagnoses, since you have lived all those things, which is called as taboo in Indian society, depression, anxiety, PPT, PTSD, and how did you move from I am broken to I am recovering? It gets very difficult, right?
It is. I think now when I am so vocal in LinkedIn, I use this language a lot about diagnosis, depression, PTSD. Like I use the words more because I want to create awareness about those things. But other than that, in my personal life, I don't recognize myself as someone who, is defined by those things because I have done it. Like I have defined myself with, I'm a depressed person, I can never be happy. And for the longest time, I have had suicidal ideations. And like till like 6 months ago, it was really, really high. And, that it was always a thing in my head ki there is a layer beyond which I cannot go, and things that come very normally to people comes very difficult to me. I think when I get into that area of talking about myself with respect to diagnosis, I become a little bit more self pity than anything. But I do think it is necessary to talk about these things because the moment you say someone has to go to a therapist or a psychiatrist, it is considered as nahi nahi wo sab kyun chahiye. You don't need all those things. Like just think positive thoughts. My mom says that a lot. And like I am also religious, she's also like religious, spiritual, whatever, like, and she's also into it. And she was like, just pray, everything will go away. And as much as I respect the thought process, it did not go away. I did pray, right? So I think it has, first diagnosis helped me give a language to what I'm facing. I think it also helped me intellectualize things a bit. I don't know if that's a great thing to do, but I am someone who works better when I know what is happening. So when I knew that, okay, this is my depression talking versus this is not my reality, right? I was able to kind of manage things a little better, regulate my emotions a little better. Like, okay, let's just pause for some time, it will get better, right? Like I was able to sit with these emotions a little better, but without the name of those diagnoses or even not knowing what was happening, everything was me. Neha is this, Neha is anxious, Neha is angry, Neha is hateful, like Neha is sad, Neha is suicidal, like everything becomes my own identity. I think that has changed a lot now. It's not that I make excuses saying it's because of my depression that I am like this or whatever, but it has helped me see my own limits and boundaries. Ki I need these things to be able to sustain myself better, and if I don't have those things, I might not be in my best shape today. And it has also gotten to the point ki I talk this language to the people that are close to me. I tell them, hey, if I am showing these kind of behaviors, ask me if I'm all right or not. Like I make it a pattern to give them the language to use with me. I think all these things have helped. Even when with my own clients, I'm a coach, there are days I'm very low to actually talk up to them and take their sorrows or like just listen to it. I'm not able to, and I usually tell very clearly, today is not the day I will be able to do this, right? So I think it has given me a lot of agency, knowing the terms ki, okay, this is what it is, this is why it happened. And it has also helped me not see myself as, oh, poor Neha or whatever. It is like a biochemical reaction, keeps changing. I just have to kind of figure it out as I go by. Like few years ago, I would have a panic attack at least 3 times a day minimum. Now I don't remember the last time I had it. And I think that's because now I'm able to, even the feeling if it comes, okay, I might get a panic attack, I immediately can ground myself, do the exercises that is needed. Like, it has given me the language to be better with myself. It has given me more agency. Knowing my diagnosis has helped me tell people about myself a little bit more clearly. I think it's one of the best things I have done for myself. Key going to therapy or psychiatry, whatever, having the medications, everything. It has made me know who I am. Yeah.
Neha ji, your journey is one of a kind because not many people talk about these issues. If they are facing these issues, they get into that victim mindset. Oh, I'm facing this. Oh, this is happening with me only. Oh, this is happening. Oh, why this is happening with me? Why God is doing this thing to me only? I'm glad. I'm super glad that you came out of that journey, and I'm sure coaching is helping you build that momentum of yours because coaching is all about refueling ourselves. That we are not alone. There are other minds as well who are going through the same pain and all. And if we can help ourselves, why not? We can help others too. So thank you so much, Neha ji, for answering this question. This leads to me another important question of mine because you have left a powerful corporate role to move into a trauma informed coaching. What made you realize that what women needed wasn't motivation, but safety?
Um, Something that I am really proud of is leaving the corporate job was a very conscious decision. It was not mm, told to me, it was not like conditioned to me. I thought about it a lot, I pondered the pros and cons of it, and it was like a very thoughtful decision. And I think that really helped, number one, to not kind of doubt myself a lot after that. Second, while I was in the role as a VP, as I was like with 80 plus women, of course, when you have 80 plus huge team, you won't be able to give an individual time to every single one of them as much as you would like. But one thing that I was able to see very clearly, irrespective of all these women, was a feeling that they are not enough. Like I have literally taught people how to negotiate salary to me. Like I would tell them, okay, you ask this, like ask ask for what you want. Like, I don't think I will have to teach this to a man as much as I have had to teach this to women. Again, it's great that they feel they can ask about these things, but even me, if I want to ask for a hike, I would have to practice it with my partner. I would ask him to, ask, like, be rude, like, put me in a situation and let me kind of get out of it, let me ask what I deserve, etc. So, like, I think that feeling of not being enough was very consistent in all of us. It comes from, you have never been someone who, how do I put it, like, you're always been someone else's property. You have never been allowed to do things the way that you want. Figure yourself out, take time to understand what I like and what I don't. Those opportunities are not given to women as much, at least from the type of women and demographic I come from. So I think that kind of stood out to me a lot. Why are they not able to demand the things that they want? Why are they not feeling confident in spite of them being really brilliantly amazing? Like, what is lacking there? So I think once I left the job, I knew I wanted to do something on my own, and I also knew that I don't want to go into the route of, you know VC funding, starting a startup, etc., etc. Because, like, again, that's a whole big giant to cover, and I knew that I don't want to go in that space. My first thought was psychology, but again, it would take more years, it would take more learning, and I just have to commit in a different angle to it, financially, etc., etc. So then I came across coaching. To be very honest, till then I was not even aware coaching is like a valid profession. So then I came across it and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. And then I went into the rabbit hole of it. What does a coach provide versus what does a therapy provide? How does it distinguish from each other? If someone comes to me, what are the problems I'm solving? What are the outcomes they go home with, etc.? Right. So I kind of went into that, trying to understand it from every perspective, thing, like, because now, being in LinkedIn and everything, I also notice how much saturated this coaching space is. I notice how, there is a lot of misinterpretation about it. They are wannabe therapists, or, like, there is like a lot of, just a negative connotation associated with it. So to understand it myself was really important to me. I remember, like, I just put coach and, like, saw whoever came in LinkedIn, and I was surprised that many of them didn't have any kind of an accreditation. Not that I'm judging them for it. I was like, so anyone can be a coach, right? Like, so I was trying to understand that aspect a lot. So it took me good time to kind of understand these things. So, and being trauma informed is something that I think that comes from my own experience. It simply means that I don't let you be re-traumatized with my work. As simple as that. Like, I am going to be aware of your own past experiences and talk to you accordingly, and not, take you to the place where you're going to kind of get re-traumatized again. I think that came very naturally to me. When I started, I was just, my niche was like, I help women. And then it kind of started narrowing down, where I was talking about mental health more and more. And the kind of clients that I was attracting was also people who were struggling with mental health kind of things. They're going to therapy, but they're like, I'm still not able to do the next things what I'm supposed to do. Like, okay, great, let's try it out. So I think it kind of got narrowed down into this trauma informed mental health space, compared to when I started, and I'm very happy about where I am right now. So yeah, like, I think leaving the corporate job and getting here was, again, one of the best decisions that I have done. I have been the happiest in this 1.5 years, because whatever I do right now comes very naturally, and helping these women that I talk to, um, like, I'm not someone who talks a lot about purpose, but it does feel very purposeful. So yeah, that's little about that.
Your purpose is getting unfolded by itself, Nehaji. We don't define our purpose. Purpose gets unfolded by the universe. What exactly the purpose of our being is, of our existence is. And your journey is a beautiful example of how to shape up your pain into the power, basically. Because switching from a corporate role, switching from a monthly paycheck income, and then moving on to this journey, it's a drastic decision for anyone, whether it's women, whether it's for men. In today's generation, it's a big decision to take that risk of your life, and you are succeeding in this. And I'm wishing you all the best, to all the ladies, whosoever you're talking to our audience as well. In case if somebody wants to join hands with Neha ji, she's there with you. Next question, Neha ji. You intentionally use the word recovery instead of healing, because we as healers, we use healing. Can you explain why that distinction matters so much, especially for trauma survivors?
Again, like it comes from, I feel healing as a word really perfect. I have nothing against it. Like even someone, I have spoken to a lot of people who right now recently, like they are into tarot card reading and healing through that. There is healing through energy, etc., etc. Like I'm speaking to different kinds of coaches now, and I respect that, because if I, as a client, respond more to energy healing, I want that person to exist in my life, right? At the same time, for me, the differentiation was, um, again, healing being really perfect of a word, it creates a magic around the process, I feel, which it actually is not. It's really boring, it's really annoying, it's really frustrating work to kind of get up every day and choose to be, I will try to kind of get through the day with as much positivity as I can, or it's a lot of hard work, which I do feel the word healing kind of masks it a bit. So that was the main reason that I always choose recovery, because I do think anyone who comes in, does the work, feel better, it is never going to be like they become someone who they were like years ago. The scars remain. They just, the scar tissue kind of just takes over. They are great. They have improved actually. I think that kind of does not come a lot when it is healing. My major problem is that it kind of creates a magic around it. Like, have you heard people say, I have gone into a healing journey, I'm going to go travel the world, and like, all that. Like, I respect it, that's great, but is that the same as actually working on yourself with people who understand what you're going through, your patterns, etc.? I don't think so. So I think that is my main issue around the words, nothing else. And second, again, with trauma or any mental health illness, I think it is never as clean as, it's over. I remember I spoke to this one person who told me that she will cure me or heal me in one session. And she said this after my post, which something was talking about I've had depression for 10 years. And her point was, you are talking as if it is still not cured. And I don't think your clients would want to resonate with that, because they would want to come to support their own depression, right? And then she went around to tell me, you give me one session and I'll make it go away. And again, as much as I respect that, I don't think that's the line for me, because it has been a lot of trial and error for me. Like, if you come to psychiatry, I have had suicidal ideations, I have had suicide attempt admissions. So what happens is they'll give medications, it does not work, then they will kind of recalibrate the medications, then sometimes some medications will work, right? So it's a lot of recalibration. I have had situations which was supposed to help me has made me worse, and then kind of we have figured out why that has happened and kind of worked on it. So I think when you talk about healing as such, it takes away from the non-linearness, the messiness of it, the bloodbath of it, to be very honest. I think when you call it recovery, it is a bit more real, at least for me. Like, if I have diabetes, I can control it, I can sustain it, I can get better, but you will always be a diabetic after that, right? Like, it's never like my diabetes has gone away. You have always, there is a chance of relapsing, and I think that exists in mental health space a lot, especially mental health illness a lot, and that has to be recognized. Yeah, so like I've always felt a little controversial about talking about this, because I don't want to offend people who are doing that job. And that's like when we were talking, I was really happy, because you being a healer asking me this meant a lot to me. It means like it comes from a place of non-judgment from you as well, and it's the same for me. It's my own experiences and re- revelations.
Beautifully explained, Nehaji. The word healing, when I use healing, it's to begin the process. It's to set up the environment, basically. Then comes the real word, which is recovery, which will
Absolutely.
happen on daily basis. So healing will start the process, but recovery happens on a daily basis, and it's a journey. Like you mentioned, like, nothing can be removed from us, right?
Yeah.
It will stay with us only. It will go with us only. What we have experienced, we have experienced. If our mind, our subconscious remembers, it will be deep seated in that only, and it will pop up whenever the situation arises.
Yeah.
What we need to follow just to ensure we how to tackle those situations, right? How to handle those situations whenever those situations come up. Nobody is prepared for anything, right? Everything is a surprise. If somebody goes away from our life, it's a surprise for us, right? How will and it nobody knows how it can affect someone emotionally or mentally. Nobody understands this particular pain. What an inspiring conversation already we are having. We have already started with, and your story is a powerful reminder, Nehaji, that pain, when embraced with the clarity of thinking what you want from your life, becomes a form of recovery for others, not healing for others. So now let's have a little fun with a quick, light-hearted, rapid-fire round of ours. This is the second section of our podcast where I'll be asking you 10 to 15 questions in a rapid way, and you need to answer it in one word or one sentence. Like do it rapidly. Yeah. So let's start with
Okay.
our second section of our podcast, the rapid-fire round. Ready, Nehaji?
Yes.
First question of our rapid fire round, Nehaji. One word that describes your relationship with yourself today.
Grace, I would say. Like, I have learned that, like, even if you saw me 2 years ago, you wouldn't recognize me.
Second question, the Nehaji, the grace which you mentioned, the word, the grace, it's actually showcases your aura. You have a graceful aura which you've got, the presence which you've got. It's a graceful presence. Second question, Nehaji, a feeling you are learning to allow instead of fighting it.
Guilt, self, shame. I'm trying not to kill them, right? Like, I'm trying to kind of make peace, understand it, where this is coming from, how can I make it better, which is very new for me. So, yeah, self
And
criticism.
and that's how a person evolves in their life if we are able to self criticize ourselves, because not many people take that feedback very honestly. Third question, Nehaji, of our rapid fire round: silence or conversation? What recovers you more?
Oh, I think conversation. Um, but I also need a first few minutes of silence to process my emotions before I talk. Otherwise, I might say something that I'm not supposed to. So I would say silence followed by conversation. Yeah.
I'm sure lot many people from our audience would resonate with this. Next question, Nehaji: a boundary that changed your life, a self-made boundary which you have made for yourself, which changed your life.
I think I am very respectful of my time right now. That's a boundary that I did not have before. And it is not just about work, relationships, people that I want in my life, things I want to spend time on, even cooking. Am I doing the things that I like to do? I think that has really changed the way I respect myself, to be very honest.
And this is what everybody should do, because time is the valuable asset which we've got. Next question, Nehaji. One misconception about trauma you wish would disappear.
Oh, lovely question. I think people assume trauma is supposed to be some kind of a big thing that happens, like, had a major incident go on in my life, and because of that, I'm traumatized. But in reality, it is a lot of collection of tiny things that happens to you. This is not recognized. It is people don't realize it as much, and they think, okay, only if I, for example, get divorced, is a trauma. If I lose a child in miscarriage, it's a trauma. But it's not key. Okay, I have had a difficult childhood, I have had a difficult manager, those are not considered as problems at all, right? So I think that I would like for it to get a little bit more linear. Key people understand that it's a part of day-to-day life rather than something that just happens. And
I'm sure a lot many people would resonate with this because everything is part of our lives only. Whatever is happening in our lives, it's part of our life now. So how we need to recover, it depends on us. And if you want to take any help from people like Neha ji, they're already there doing that great work. Next question, Neha ji. Rest or resilience? Which are you choosing more now?
I think now I have understood a lot about I need rest to be resilient, which was not the case before. I would feel very guilty to rest. Like if I take 2 days of holiday, I will find 2 hours to work in between just to so I feel I have done something productive. But now I have understood rest is not just sitting simply. It is about doing things that recharges you so that you are able to show up for yourself and others better the next day. So yeah, I'm in my rest era right now. Yeah.
And rest is not about going to the bed and still thinking. Rest is
Exactly.
about sleeping. Go to the bed, sleep, and if you're not able to sleep, do some productive work which makes you sleep. Thank you so much, Neha ji.
Yeah,
Next
it's about
question.
what.
Yeah,
Thank you.
true. A word you are reclaiming for yourself. A word, only a word.
Mm. Oh, well, the first word that came to my mind, a little cliche, is imperfect, actually, because I have tried to be someone who the world wants me to be or whatever. But now I'm realizing that I need my own way of doing things, own pace of doing things, and it's okay that I can keep my individuality and figure things out my own way.
And that's the way to lead forward in life, that we are imperfect beings and everything will happen in its due course. Next question, Neha ji. One thing you no longer apologize for.
Oh, saying no, I at least try my best to not apologize for it or over explain it. Though at times I find myself doing it. But yes, that's the answer. Like saying no, taking time out for myself. I don't want to go out today. I don't feel like it. If earlier it would be like, I'm so sorry, like, blah, 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 kind of a thing. But now it's more of a natural process. So, yeah.
And why saying no is a powerful habit. It is not about disrespecting the other person. It's all about respecting your own boundaries first. So thank you so much, Neha ji, for answering this question. Next question. A practice that brings you back to safety. I'm sure you must be practicing many habits out there, but just one practice which you follow, which brings you back to the safety.
My top 3 actually are breathing exercises. I need them like before the session I did them. After the session I'll do them. Like they ground me. I read a lot. It is my escape, so I enjoy that. I do embroidery, which is like something to do with my hand so that I don't think with my brain. So yeah, these are my 3 things that keeps me grounded.
Amazing. And if any of our audience is listening, please try these habits: reading, journaling, doing anything with your hands. It makes you feel more open to the universe, what you can achieve in your life. Next question, Neha ji. One thing every woman deserves but rarely receives on this planet.
I think support. And when I say support, it means an all inclusive support. Like, you can be yourself. I'm going to be here, not judging you. That is not something that's easily available for women. Even if you have a great spouse, a great family, there is still not the kind of support that you want, which I have seen again and again with women. So I think that's the one.
The support is required for everyone out there, and beautifully answered, Nehaji, because without support, nobody can achieve anything in their life, right? Everyone needs that support in their
Absolutely.
life. Next question, Nehaji, from our rapid fire round. A belief you have unlearned recently.
Oh, I know it's rapid fire, but I'm taking some time to think. I think I don't need answers immediately. That's a belief that I am trying to unlearn. Earlier, it used to be difficult to sit with discomfort. Now, even with clients, when they say, I don't know, earlier it used to kind of annoy me a little bit. Ki, where do I go from here when you say I don't know, right? But now I am much more accepting of the I don't knows. I understand how to sit with the discomfort of it, how to like just accept it for what it is. So, yeah, that.
Next question, Nehaji. What helps you feel grounded during your hard days?
I think I need uh, quality time is my love language. So I need that with my partner, like just talking to him about what has happened, etc. It really helps me. I think he's my in this space right now. So I respect that relationship a lot. I think that's my main thing for hard days. He also jokes that if I take a bath, I kind of reset myself and become a different person. So I think that is also another one. A good bath also helps a lot.
I'm sure all these things does makes us feel. So whenever we change any situation, something would gonna change in our mind too. And last question of this rapid fire round, Nehaji. One line that defines trust your journey for you. Because this podcast is themed as trust your journey. Why people should trust their journeys. One line that defines trust your journey for you.
You will fall a million times and you will get up a million times. And like the first time, maybe it will take longer to get up, but it gets easier. I think that's something that I really believe in. Like, recovery is better coping mechanisms. You just find the length between two episodes increase. That's what trusting my journey is for me.
Beautifully answered, Nehaji. All these questions were asked just to know a little more about yourself, your persona. These are just cosmetic questions, which helps identify the core personality of our guests. And thank you so much. You candidly replied to all the questions, and I'm grateful to move to another section of our podcast, which is the last and the final section of Trust Your Journey, where we'll be diving deep into your journey, your pain, your challenges, and your learnings, which happened in this journey. So welcome back to Trust Your Journey 1.0. This is our third section where we'll be going deep diving into Nehaji's journey, the growth, the pain, the challenges which she faced, and how she overcame those challenges. Nehaji, first question from our section 3. You have said you have had to rebuild yourself more times than you can count. What does rebuilding looks like when you are tired of starting over again and again?
I think, to be very honest, it's not having an option but to, right? Like there is no other choice but to. I think that's the main motivation. I also try not to get to that hard place anymore now, because earlier when I was not able to afford the help that I need. I would wait for things to kind of get bad. Like, okay, my self harm has increased. Now let me go to the doctor. I'm having too much suicidal ideations. Let me talk to someone. But now that's not how it is. I kind of try my best to prevent those from happening at all. So I think not getting to that too much hard space has really helped, because then picking myself up, the effort that takes is comparatively lesser, right? So I think that is one main thing. So if I were to answer it very honestly, I think having a good financial help, support, backing, or whatever, like independence, is something that really helps not get things too bad. Like, I'm being very honest here.
And glad that you put it out it so much candidly that finances are important in our lives, because if we are not financially backed up, nobody is going to support us, honestly. Because paisa sab jagah bolta hai, right? Even in our mental health as well, paisa bolta hai. But
Yeah.
it's all about feeding that money is not everything, but money has got enormous potential to make us feel good as well. And glad that you put it out it this way. And second question, Nehaji, from this section. I know many women feel they have to earn rest, worth, or voice. What helped you stop negotiating your existence?
To be very honest, again, once I started writing in LinkedIn constantly and I saw a lot of people resonate with it, kind of get a positive response to those things, that definitely helped. I'm not saying with respect to validation, it helps with respect to knowing, okay, they're also going through something like that. So you're not alone in the process, right? So everyone feels those things. When you don't know that everyone is in the same um, pod, you tend to kind of romanticize your pain more. Oh, it's all happening to me. How could it all happen to me? Now it is a lot more accepting that it is a part of all of us. I just have to, you know, let it not take over me. I think I have understood that a lot more recently. Yeah.
And why this has happened, Nehaji? Because of your own pains and the journey which you had been on to. This is what is reshaping your future, I would say. Because in present moment, you're concentrating on your path only. Next question, because this leads to me another question of mine from this section. As someone who now holds space for others' pain, how do you protect your own nervous system? I'm sure it must be very difficult because as a healer, I can understand listening to others' pain might pop in our own pains too, right? But how do you maintain that? How do you protect your own nervous system in all these chaos of emotional release, emotional traumas, mental traumas?
One main thing is I do only as much as I can take. I'm not going to pretend to be a hero who can save everyone and help everyone. So I only do what my body, my mind is capable of right now. That has definitely helped. Then, in situations like when I have the first call, if the conversations are something that I cannot handle, I am very clear about it from day one. I don't think this is something that I will be able to help you a lot with. Again, I don't try to just take up all the problems in my head and kind of try to solve them. I'm not doing that. Third, I think I have learned to have patience with trusting them with the tools that I have given them. Like earlier, if I am taking a leave for a week, for example, I would text them in between asking, "How are you? Is everything all right? Are you able to hold on well, etc., etc." Everything great, but I'm not letting them kind of cope and kind of figure things out by themselves, which I understood, which is really required in the healing process. That also kind of made me feel and understand why therapy sessions don't have any support in between. Actually, like, you are supposed to figure out the in between period, like how do you manage things on your own. I think I have been more understanding of that process, that if I have given you the tools, I need to trust you to be able to work with them. So yeah, I think these definitely help me kind of not take things too much in my head. Other than this, I am an avid therapy goer. I do my, like, I get help wherever I need. And I do the things that I told you, my breathing exercises, my reading, my embroidery, everything is a part and parcel of my life. So it's never key, I'm waiting for things to go so bad that I pick these habits up. They are a part of my life. I am doing them on a day-to-day basis so that I'm able to be there for people. And at the same time, I very vocally tell if I can't handle things today. Like, for example, hey, I'm very low today, I won't be able to have this conversation right now. So I also mentioned it before the session, it's not urgent care. Like, it's not like, hey, I need something right now, you give me. I might not be able to provide that. And any online care is actually not urgent care. So don't expect that.
Yeah.
Coming in is something that I have made very clear. So I think, again, clarity of these things has really helped make my own boundaries.
And don't pretend to be a hero. That's what you started with this. And this gives me as well that thought that started it like this only, that, oh, I'm a hero. I'll take care of these things. Sooner, gradually, as I moved onto this journey, I realized that being vulnerable is the best thing, because if we are not showing our vulnerability to the world, they won't be able to associate with us. They won't be able to like consider them as part of us, right? And this is
Yeah.
where the your true potential comes in, when you show your vulnerability to the outside world. You are healing it, you are recovering it by your own as well. Once you talk about your issues, it might not get healed 100%, but it will give you a way, it will find you a way to
Right.
recover from that process when you talk to other people. And I'm sure people like you who are already there doing that great work, inspiring millions of, I'm sure you will reach to millions, you'll be inspiring millions of people out there in your journey. Now, the next question, which leads to me, the next question, because you talked about the daytime, the one day, you won't be able to provide the solution in a day's time or a quick fix. There's nothing like that. Recovery, I know, isn't linear or pretty. It doesn't look pretty. What does a real recovery day look like to you? And not the Instagram version, the short reels. Oh, you do this affirmation, or you'll be manifesting your dream life. No, it doesn't work like this. So you tell me, what does a real recovery day look like for you?
I think some of the best moments with my clients would be a tiny message that they send in between our sessions saying, Ki, Neha, this happened, but I was able to handle it better. That gives me the most joy. Like, I don't want anything too big and, like, one paragraph testimonial, but when they're able to kind of recognize something that they used to not handle so well, but now they are able to, I think that's recovery for me. When clients are also being forgiving towards themselves. Like, a lot of things I see very consistently with all my clients, irrespective of the problems that they come with, is the words like, I feel proud of myself, I'm more forgiving of myself. These words increase once the work begins. And that's the best kind of things to hear. Like, I don't expect them to say, hey, everything is gone, I'm perfect now. But these tiny, tiny moments, humanizing them is really important, because these are also the moments that kind of gets brushed under the rug. No one is going to tell you great job for one no that you say, but for you it might be a huge deal. So, like, that's where having someone resonating that, hey, that was a huge deal that you changed your pattern or changed something that you were not used to, I think that is what main recovery or how it looks like for me. It is when again, like when they are very receptive, like I can go to therapy for 10 years, but if I'm not listening to the things that she is telling, and if I'm not doing the things that she is recommending, it's as good as not doing it, right? The same thing, my willingness to do the work is recovery. Like, I think when people are getting better, it shows in their relationships, actions. They talk to people a lot more easier. If 2 years ago you messaged me about something, or I won't even message you about anything, that's how much I would kind of, keep people in a distance. But when people recover, they tend to improve their relationship with others and themselves. I think these are some small things. And third, very important, in recovery, you will see routine. Like, that's something that I have again and again seen. There is some routine, like you wake up, you it can be a, like, I have chai and eggs in the morning also is fine. Like, technically chai you shouldn't have in the morning, I'm not even going there. But the routine of I will do things in a certain way, in a certain pattern, which will help me feel more control in my life, is something that I have seen a lot with people who are in their recovery journey. They're more willing to do the routines. They feel more self accomplished when they do those tiny routines, which might not happen before, because earlier it would be like, I'm not able to do anything, or it would be like 2 days I'll do a lot of work and 3 days I will not do anything. Right now, that consistency and routine comes in. I think that is also something very important.
I'm sure, Nehaji, the real recovery, when it happens with small, small, small steps which people are taking in their daily lives. It's not about magic which happens on a day basis. Like somebody will put a wand on your on your head and you'll be cured. If everything looks perfect to you, there is some problem in that. There is some problem in that, because being imperfect itself will show the perfect side of anything, but being perfect will never show the imperfect side of anything. So thank you so much, Nehaji, for answering this question so honestly. The last question of this section, Nehaji, for someone listening who is surviving quietly, functioning on the outside but unraveling inside, what would you want them to hear today?
I think I would say, to be human is to live in a community. To get help is what human is. Like, mammals are supposed to be in flocks. They are supposed to work together. There is nothing called as I'll do things my own. Like, I'll figure it all on my own. Like, it simply is not as again heroic as it looks, right? Like, it is, you need people, you need help, and accepting that, reaching out for it is very important. And at the same time, okay, I reached out to one person, they did not give me help, now I will just shut down and like go years and years and years, which I have seen a lot of people do. That also doesn't work. It is your requirement, you need something, you go ask, right? Like, there is this saying, only crying baby gets milk, right? It's very similar in this as well. The more that you reach out, the more that you try to figure out what you're going through, like the more you are willing to extend your hand and say, hey, look at me, I need help. I think it will give you the help that you need. Like, I remembered Harry Potter's Dumbledore's line, which is, if you look for help, you will find it. So I think that is something that I would say. Um, a lot of people suffer things. Every one of us have our own fights and sufferings. It just gets better when we hold hands and do it together.
And this is the reason why we are uh, recording this podcast too. And if any of our listeners are getting resonated with this conversation, just comment. whatever feelings which you have, which you are going through. In case if you are going through any of the traumatized phase of your journey, just mention in the comments, and me or Nehaji will reach out to you and see what exactly we can help you with. There's no quick fixes in healing or neither in recovery. There are no quick fixes. If anybody is helping you with the quick fixes, it will go away quickly as well. So just make sure that whatever fixes you are having in your lives, it goes with the in respect to your journey, because your journey is all about your past. What has happened in your past, it has nothing to do with any of the outside beings. It has just to do with your past only, and present moment is there to help us make the future for us and reshape that future which is there. Thank you so much, Nehaji, for choosing honesty over performance, safety over spectacles, and truth over toxicity. This episode reminds us that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, I am still here. To everyone listening, your pain does not make you weak, and you do not have to earn your right to take up that space of yours. Trust your journey where stories aren't polished, but they are real. Thank you so much, Nehaji. How can our audience reach out to you in case if anybody wants to reach out to you to take your services, to know more about you? How can they reach out to you? And any last message for our listeners, for someone who is going through that pain, going through that traumatic phase of their life? Like you said, everyone goes through sufferings because this world is given to us to embrace sufferings, I would say, because without sufferings we cannot change, we cannot transform our lives. What's that one last message, and how can people reach out to you, Nehaji?
Thank you, Avinash, so much for having me again. One last thing I would like to say is, if there is a lot of helplessness and hopelessness that you feel, I want to say that there is a proof right here on this call. Like, I have scars on my legs and thighs, which no one can see. I have admissions which like barely came out alive of them, but and there are days like where I harm myself again and go again, like just let it take me over, because sometimes it's easier. But I'm still sitting here with you all talking about this as positively, as kindly, as happily as I can, because I do preach whatever I say, and I do think there is absolution, there is recovery, there is healing if you look for it and work for it. So I think don't give up hope, and there is a lot of people willing to help you. Just keep reaching out till you find it. Like, there is so many beautiful people out here. And yeah, that's it. And if you are like listening to me and liked how I talk and want to work with me, I am usually the most available in LinkedIn, because that's where my most presence is. Neha S Kumar, you will find me there. There is also nehaskumar.com, where you can find me, or you can mail me at hello@nehaskumar.com. All of these things are available very easily. Um, uh, my niche or speciality or whatever that I do is, no matter the things that you are kind of tolerating, bearing right now, how do you keep walking forward along with it and kind of, not stop or go backward, right? That's my most work that I do. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. If you made it till here, thank you so much for listening to us. It means the world to me. Thank you, Avinash, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Nehaji, for so beautifully explaining your journey, putting your heart out there, sharing your problems, what you have went through. It takes a lot of courage to accept ourselves first, and you have done that. You have already crossed the first leg of the transformation journey, which everybody needs to do. Accept their flaws. If you're not accepting your flaws, you'll not be able to heal it. You'll not be able to recover from it. So if somebody is watching us, listening to us right now, Please understand, without trusting yourself, you cannot move ahead. There would always be fear, but you need to lead with faith. And always, always, always trust your journey. Until next time, I'll see you in another episode. Thank you so much, Nehaji, once again for such an inspiring story to share. And I'm sure this will reach to the people who need it the most.
Thank you so much for having me, for listening to me. My last words is that ki please ask for help and you will find it. We are supposed to exist together, not alone. So, yeah.
So we are here in this journey together. We are not alone. I'll see you in another episode. Thank you so much for watching.